And I think the first thing that he would point out is if you watch Johnny, he's changing his arm position numerous times, and sometimes you have to in the course of a game when you have a guy in your face or you've got to move and slide and you've got to change it. But in a situation like this, when you don't have anybody pressuring you, he shouldn't have to change his arm level, and that's one of the things that I've seen, and definitely I've seen it on the throws that he's missed, but he looked pretty good on that one.
Yeah, he did. I think that was, I'm trying to count here from the end zone behind him. That was about 60 yards in the air, give or take 5 yards, and as soon as he put it right on the money,
yards in the air right now too.
He yelled "boom" as loud as he could, and I think that
a good way to finish it off right there, huh?
There for Johnny Manziel. And he needed to impress from the pocket and outside the pocket, and he did. And I always throw out the word perspective at a pro day like this, where if a guy doesn't do as well as he wants, like Teddy Bridgewater, doesn't mean he can't play. When a guy looks great for a half hour, doesn't mean he's going to be a great player on Sunday. But I think Johnny Manziel gave all of us a glimpse that he can look very good from the pocket. All the skill is there. Now comes the tough part, seeing if he can do it on Sundays.
Right. I mean, like we said, the real questions he has to answer to be drafted as high as we think he could be aren't going to be answered here. But, you know, as far as pro days go, very seldom do you come out going, wow, you know, he did something that wowed me. He did something that you know, put that marker up like, man, you know, can we pass on this guy? And I think that's what Johnny did today. You know, some of those deep throws that he made, the deep throws on the move that he made, I mean, those make you say, wow, those are throws that not everybody can make. And he did it almost effortlessly. And so, you know, it puts that mark up. But again, I think the questions to draft him 1, 2, 5 are going to be the things off the field more than anything.
Johnny Manziel with an excellent. Manziel, the man of the hour. Hey, thanks for making time for us here.
That was fun.
That was great. And we always come into this, I think, a little bit skeptical, like there's only so much a guy can do. Let's have him really wow us to be impressed. We were all impressed. You've been pointing to this day for weeks, really months. I'm sure you had in your head how you wanted it to go. Did it go as well as you wanted?
It did. My main thing was I'm not scared of anything. I don't play that way on the field. Why come out here in a scripted workout and be scared of anything? This is a game we all love. Kurt, you know, throw the pigskin around and have some fun. Yeah. It's a football player's dream. So for us, let's make it as challenging as we possibly could. Let's get throws on the run. Let's get stuff in the pocket to reset. Let's go out and have fun more than anything.
And I think that's the tough thing about a pro day is, like we said, it's tough to wow anybody because you kind of know what you're going to get. You expect somebody to come out here versus there. But I thought you guys did a great job of balancing the two, of showing the drop back stuff, which I think a lot of people have questions about. But then you added in those throws on the run, which, again, I don't think there's very many guys, even at the National Football League level, that can make those kind of throws there. So was that kind of the idea, is that, hey, this is something I do really well. We got to make sure we touch on that, but focus more on in the pocket stuff?
It was more my idea on that stuff, especially the 2 rollouts on the deep slot corners. I know we had it scripted 7, go through your reads and put it up, but for me, I was like, you know, they didn't really know if I could get out there and make that throw like that. It's probably 50-something yards on the run like that, and I felt extremely comfortable doing it, extremely comfortable with Mike running the route. So it was, for me, like I said, the main thing was we were striving for perfection. One ball hit the ground, so a little disappointed in that, but at the same time, I wanted to make it as challenging as possible and show these guys I'm not scared of anything. I can make any throw out here on this field and hopefully compete with anybody. So I think more than anything, receivers did a great job of making their splits perfect, breaking it off and going through everything. I give a ton of credit to them. 6 great guys.
You know, it's kind of interesting because Tony Dungy, former head coach who I have a lot of respect for, always talked about bright lights players, guys that weren't afraid to make plays anywhere, whether it's out in the field, in the backyard, at the combine, at the Senior Bowl, whatever. And that's kind of the attitude you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Getting out there and ripping it. Now, I'm always the bad guy, so I want to go to the one tape that bothered me, and I want to sit here and I want to bang the table that you're a top 10 pick and maybe the number 1 pick in the draft. I love what you do spontaneity-wise. I believe, and I think Kurt is with me, that if you're going to be an all-pro player at the next level, you got to learn to win in the pocket also.
Absolutely.
When I watch that LSU tape, I see you back out of the pocket. I see you on a pre-snap read with a single high safety, not throw the ball to Mike Evans, who's wide open, and you know the plays I'm talking
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely.
There's 5 plays in a row in the second quarter where I would love to sit there and watch tape with you and go, why?
Absolutely.
What is your answer to that?
I completely agree with you on that. The weather threw us off a little bit, and there's no excuses. I'm not a guy that's going to come out and say the ball was wet, the weather was
Right.
cold. That has nothing to do with it. That had nothing to do with the way I played. It just changes your mind a little bit before the game, and it was one of those games you go back and you look on film, and you see something pre-snap,
Right.
and we just didn't get a grip on what they
Right.
were doing early. And if
Right.
you get that, you can get out of a rhythm early. Football's all about rhythm.
But Johnny, I think my specific question is
easy,
more
easy.
like at the next level, when a head coach says to you, you got to read the progressions, you got to stay here and go 1, 2, 3 before you leave the pocket. Can you and will you do that?
Absolutely. I'm an extremely coachable kid, and I'm ready to learn. That's the biggest thing for me. When I got out to California and I got with Kevin O'Connell and Coach Whitfield,
Right.
I said there's things that I wasn't asked to do here at A&M.
Right.
There's protections. There's so many things that you have to do. Throw it at me.
Awesome.
I want it. Let's do it. I need to learn it eventually. I'm tired of saying whenever I leave someplace that, man, I wish I would have known that when I was there.
Right.
Now let's get ahead of the game and let's try and be really good.
That's good. So I'm going to piggyback on that because you showed us what we needed to see physically out here. But I think we all know that the bigger questions with Johnny Manziel are whether it's off the field or whether it's the height of Johnny Manziel or can he play in the pocket. What do you think the biggest question you have to answer between now and draft day to be picked where you wanted to be picked?
I just want to let these guys know that my focus is football. This is my life. This is what I love to do. And I've never been more dedicated, more committed in my entire life. I'm so excited for that. I understand the challenge and the jump. People have talked about it. It's been from you to anybody that talks about it. There's a big jump. There's no denying that. The guys that play this game at a high level I have the utmost respect for. But at the same time, I want to be one of those guys one day. And I know that the people that I have around me and the people that I've talked to in those positions, whether it's Peyton Manning, whether it's Tom Brady, whoever it would be, I see what it takes for them to be great. You have to put the time in. You have to be dedicated to it. I'm 100% that way.
We're looking around the field as you were working out. I pointed out all the general managers, the head coaches, the offensive coordinators standing 15 yards from you watching everything you did. It starts with the Houston Texans at 1. Rick Smith, general manager, was right over here. Head coach Bill O'Brien on the other side of the field. They came here to learn something about you, likely to learn a lot about you. What's the number one impression you want them to walk away?
Yeah, I want them to think that I could do anything that they would ask me to do within the confines of their playbook, whether it's stretch right, stretch left, ISO, quick pop pass, 5-step drop, 7-step, 5-step burn, 3-step quick out, whatever it would be. I want them to know that I could do it all, and that's kind of what our workout tried to show them a little bit.
You know, I got up this morning. I was excited. I don't usually get too excited for pro days. I was like, this is really going to be fun. Do you play any basketball? Do you play pickup hoops?
We have been. This is something that me and Mike Evans probably every day after we would work out about 6 o'clock at night, we'd go to University of California, San Diego, and stay in the gym for about an hour and a half.
See, my deal with him is that there are certain guys that just get it. Okay, in every sport. And when you play winter stay in basketball, I'd want to play with him because he's going to be the point guard and get the ball, make the shots when he needs to. But you're going to play all freaking day is the way. I'd like to be his teammate.
And he can dunk too, right?
Maybe a little bit. I still got a little bit of kid in me, so I like to run around and play sports, basketball, golf, whatever it is, all day.
Well,
so.
I got to invite him over to my house to play little hoops. We play a few
Because
times
Kurt
a
has
week.
a gym at his house.
Of course,
He
Kurt
rolls
has
that
a
way.
gym.
That'll be the
course.
true test right there is what he does on the basketball court.
More important than anything he does on the court, what he did today, you were fantastic today.
Thank
You
you.
ought to feel real good
Congratulations.
about it.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for your time.
Thanks.
All right, that's Johnny Manziel. Moments after his pro day workout.